So this is the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, and it's available for pre-order now, and today it's going to face off against the iPhone 16 Pro Max in a speed test comparison. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and let's go ahead and begin this speed test with a boot up in 3, 2, go, and see which one can get there first. Now, the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra features a 3nm Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, and it does have an octa-core GPU. Now, the iPhone 16 Pro Max does have the A18 Pro chip, and that is a 3nm chip as well, and it has a hexa-core GPU or a 6-core. So the 8-core in the Samsung is actually a bit quicker, it's clocked higher, and the CPUs are both 3nm. The Galaxy turned on much faster than the iPhone 16 Pro Max here. So the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra has a pretty quick face unlock. You just kind of look at the phone and it goes right in. You can also set it up to do a swipe, which would be similar to that iPhone, but I don't prefer that method because it's slower. And you'll see right there, I'm right in, just look, and I'm in. Now this ultrasonic fingerprint sensor also is pretty quick to get you into the phone as well, because you can actually turn it on without even opening the screen, which means that once you kind of know where this phone is, you don't really have to do much of anything. You just kind of know where it's at and you're in. It's also in a really good location, and that's a good thing. Also, when the screen's off, like if you have it upside down or whatever, if you're like on a side, pulling out of a side pocket, if you know where it's at, you can get right in like that. So it's definitely going to be faster than the iPhone 16 Pro Max to unlock, because with this one, you swipe like that. And the animation to get in the iPhone is a little bit slower looking as well. So let's go ahead and look at it one more time. When you swipe in, it's got more of a slower look coming inside. So that's the iPhone unlocking. They don't let you bypass the lock screen. So I would like to see them allow us to do that in the future. But right now, I think the S25 Ultra is quicker to get in than that phone. So when it comes to navigating the software or the general user interface, I do have to say the Samsung actually feels faster to me. The way it kind of like swipes through things, it just kind of pops open things a little bit faster. And now you'll see later that they actually have smooth animations, very smooth animations with One UI 7. So they have a combination of speed, features, and really nice animations. So I really am loving One UI 7 for being really nice in that area. And iOS tends to move along pretty quick as well, but it just doesn't feel quite as quick to move along. It feels like it's trying to go for a more visually pleasing look, or some people would say that looks slow though. It definitely doesn't move along quite as fast as the way that Samsung does. So definitely I would say the S25 Ultra, you can see just like the speed going through. It just looks a little snappier when pulling things down, and it's smooth now as well. So I would say this, generally speaking, kind of running through the software just feels, even in the general software, just feels a little faster. All right, so here we are at the app test. We do have 12 gigabytes of RAM on the left. We do have 8 gigabytes of RAM on the right. Let's go ahead and begin with calendar. And of course, they're both these 3nm CPUs. 8 Elite is actually clocked higher than the A18 according to Geekbench. And so far I'm seeing the Samsung launching these apps with a faster animation. And of course you can go into developer options, and that's going to also be quicker if you go to 0.5x in the scales. And it's just looking like the Samsung is popping the animation faster. Let's go into news. Samsung wins that one. And we'll go over here. So this like thing I used to talk about. All right. That one I didn't really see. And let's see which one can load this quicker. And we're still loading up this article. Let's go back here. Let's just load the next one. And you'll see once you get into the general apps that you're using, you can basically get the same type of performance. Now the Samsung over here actually has thin bezels now, just like the 16 Pro Max, but it actually has more screen to body ratio because of this right here, Dynamic Island. And that's much smaller, so it actually has more screen area. Technically, even if it's only slight, it's something. I just want to mention it. Play Store, App Store. You can see that was faster on the left, and that was kind of significantly quicker right there. So let's swipe up out of here, and we'll go into X, and that was faster on the left. I'm calling it as I see it. Let's go to profile, faster on the left. That doesn't mean it's going to win them all though. Let's go into Instagram. And that one was faster on the left. Let's go over here. We'll scroll down. My profile page. Seems like iOS had more of them loaded. But both of these generally are going to do the same tasks. It's just down to which platform do you like. But definitely Amazon. That was quicker on the left again. Let's go over here. We'll go into YouTube. And you'll see, set up out of here with this right here. And what I want to do is I want to go to trending on both. Trending. And we go to music, gaming, and movies. Both of them doing fantastic here. Swipe out. We'll go into Groupon. And the Samsung launched that first. There was a pop-up, but it still was launching it first. We'll go to categories. We'll go over here to oil change and maintenance. You'll see that was first on the left. The scrolling looking a little smoother in this app over here on the right. So that app needs some updates. We'll go over here to Gemini. Slightly quicker here. I'm not trying to not give, iPhone no, Victor, but it's just not winning here. So you'll see right here, Subway Surfers was faster. Even on this casual game, that was quicker. Now, I know it seems like all these 0.2 seconds, whatever, they don't matter to me. They might not, but you have to think back to years ago when the iPhone was so much ahead. Not these days. Definitely not these days. Let's go into Jetpack Joyride, and we'll see right here. Let me go ahead, place these more centered. That was quicker on the Samsung once again, even in the gaming department. Probably down to that way better GPU, the really nice vapor chamber that actually allows us to have better sustained performance because of better heat management. We'll go over here to 8-ball pool. Again, we're in a basic row, just a basic row here. This one was quicker on the iPhone, so the iPhone takes, I believe, what might be its first victory. Let's go into Dead Trigger 2, and Samsung wins that one again. And we'll hit play here, and that one was quicker again on the Samsung phone. And you might be saying, well, let's go to RTS. Those are just casual games. It doesn't really matter. Well, we'll see when it gets into a heavier game which one can launch it out quicker. Race the Sun. So this was quicker again on the Samsung phone. This also has a game mode, so I would think that might be slowing it down on the right. I'm not exactly sure. But definitely that one went to Samsung. What about Real Racing? And we'll see what happens here. And it looks to me like the iPhone is in the lead, but will it win to get to this page here? And it looks like it has taken the victory here. So in Real Racing, the Samsung did not win this one out here. So that's actually a good thing to see that the iPhone actually took one win here so far in one of these games. But somebody told me, I forget who told me, somebody told me in the comments the other day, don't put Real Racing. Well, I wonder why. Is it because it's not well developed for Android? Let me know down below. I accidentally clicked 3D Mark, so we're just going to have to click that, close those out, and do that again. Let's go down to Free Fire and see what happens here for Free Fire. And you're going to see that Free Fire is launching first there for the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. And here comes the iPhone. That was a pretty good amount quicker there on the S25 Ultra. Let's go into Call of Duty. And we'll see which one can open up Call of Duty faster. We're just trying to see which one could do this quicker. We will be doing the benchmark in a little bit to see which one actually performs better in the frame rates. But we're just launching AppC day-to-day performance, running through both phones. And Samsung wins this one again, just by a little bit. Look, either way you go here, you are winning, bro. You're having such boss performance in any of the games you want to do. You are really winning. So which one do you think has better AI features? Which one do you think has the better camera features? The Samsung is definitely pushing forward with the AI, so I would say that would be my pick for AI. Let's go into 3D Mark here, and that was faster on the iPhone. Let's go into Geekbench 6, faster on the Samsung. But the Speed Test Net, let's see which one could do this one. And that was the iPhone. And we'll go to LumaFusion. And that was the Samsung, surprisingly, because LumaFusion was actually on the iPhone first. So at the end of the day, at the end of these apps, I'm going to call the win the Samsung. And the reason why is because the iPhone won like 2 or 3 apps. The rest went to Samsung. So those quicker animations, the actual performance with the 8 Elite, it is an absolute boss here now on the Samsung with the One UI 7 like improvements. You have the fastest Samsung experience you ever could have imagined. iOS has been a really, really strong contender for a long time. It was one of the first to be super smooth and fast and great animations, but competition is getting fierce these days. Let's check the RAM management. All right, so let's just simply take a look at the RAM here. We'll see how it does with reloading and relaunching apps here for the Galaxy S25 Ultra. So far, perfect. 12 gigabytes of RAM, so they did not upgrade the RAM from last year. However, you should see here that it doesn't seem to matter too much. I think 8-Ball Pool was reloading the match, like it was matching up with somebody to play pool with. Let's go into YouTube, Amazon. It looks like Amazon might have been opening or refreshing the homepage. I think that's a part of the way the app operates though. And you'll see pretty much no issues whatsoever. We have this nice new effect when swiping through the app switcher. On One UI 7, you'll be getting this on some of your older Samsung phones as well, but if you get an S25, it all comes with it. You'll see the Now Brief, the Drawing Assist, and you'll see that you have the ability now, well, you've been having this ability, but you have a really good chip, really good RAM to go ahead and use all of your split screen multitasking, pop view windows, all this stuff. All of that on top of fast gaming, fast enough performance for the long term. You have a total kind of package here. You're not really missing out on really anything when it comes to this phone right here. Let's go ahead and check out the RAM management on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So I expect even with 8 gigs of RAM for this thing to be really good here as well. And you can see so far, no issues whatsoever. And if we swipe out, we'll go out of here, we'll go into dead trigger, and we'll see 8-Ball Pool was doing the same thing as the Samsung. So far, pretty much equal. We'll go to Gemini, Groupon, YouTube, Amazon, Instagram, X, News, Weather, Calculator, Clock, and Calendar. So excellent performance here as well. Pretty much doing a great job. However, I wish Apple would give us a way to go ahead and do some multitasking, which could really utilize the 8 gigs of RAM. That's enough RAM, even for doing some split screen. I wish we could utilize that in the future. That's something I want to see here. The Samsung does take better advantage of its RAM, but I would like to see 16 gigabytes in the future for the next edition. All right, so here is Geekbench, and I want to show you my most recent score I did before making this video. I actually took these tests before actually loading any apps. They were fresh and cold started. So you'll see that I actually rebooted them. You'll see that the iPhone won in single core. So it's claiming that it has better single core performance according to this particular run, but it was actually behind. It lost here in the multi-core. So Samsung is winning there, and Samsung is going to win every time in this multi-core because they have zero. I've taken these tests all year long since it came out. Well, they haven't even been out a year, but since the iPhone 16 Pro Max has been coming out, you can see I've been getting some decent scores here. And I actually was able to get a score of around 3158 right here a while back on the original version. So this is almost tying here. So it is capable of scoring almost identical here in a single core to the Ultra. But today I actually got a better score on the most recent version, and I could probably get a better score depending on the S25 Ultra. So I would say that they're pretty much neck and neck, but the Ultra wins in the multi-core. So they're kind of like trading here, single or multi-core. Both of them in the day-to-day though, benchmarks are probably not going to mean too much to you for your daily flagship use. But let's go ahead and take a look at 3D Mark. We're going to go ahead and run a wildlife extreme test, and we'll see what we're able to produce here. I'm going to go ahead and start this test, and we'll be back to see what kind of graphics we get and how much better they score than other devices on the market. So it's no contest. Samsung has absolutely demolished the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And it's not me saying that to be like biased to this one side. It's the score that's making me say that. Look at the score. 64-68 versus 48-20. That's a demolishing victory. We're 10 FPS higher in frame rates. That means we should have much better performance in games. This score is better than 91% of devices on the market, which is great, and it's really strong. It's one of the best out there on iPhone, but 98% of devices. So Samsung has come back with a faster phone here. So we'll have to see later what happens later in the year with the competition. But right now, it looks like we have the fastest Android phone out there, definitely in the flagship space. So this thing is an absolute monster right here with the 8 Elite. Actually, the only time I seen a score like this was closer with the Apple iPad Pro M4. So maybe I'll do a test with those later on just for fun. Let me know if you'd like to see that down below. All right, so let's go ahead and test the camera. I'll go ahead and take a picture of this Galaxy Watch Ultra right here. Let's go ahead and launch both just to see which one can do this quicker. 3, 2, go. And the iPhone seems to have launched that camera quicker. I'm going to close them out. I always do about 3 of these for good measure. And the iPhone does it quicker again. So 1, 2, 3. And the iPhone faster to launch the camera. Shutter speed though looks about equal, so I don't see any major issues there, although you do get much farther zoom and way more extensive controls on the Galaxy S25 Ultra when it comes to like pro video modes, log recording, expert raw. You can do some of these things on the iPhone as well, don't get it twisted, but I would say some of these features you would have to download a third-party app to do some of those things on the iPhone. So typical Samsung giving you more extra features in the camera department than you'll find over here on the right side. Stay tuned because I'm going to also do some more comparisons, like full comparisons where we talk about the other elements of the phone, not just speed. So stay tuned for that and look out for my full review of the Galaxy S25 Ultra. It should be coming within a week or two before the official phones come out to everybody around February 7th. So thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more, and I will catch you on the next episode. Nick here. Be sure to be well. And peace.